So, hey, how's it going, Lost Things? Promised that we would do a re-recording of Alan Wake Chapters 1 and 2. The last recording was kind of all fucked up. We were dropping frames all over the place, and the reason remains unknown, but we managed to fuck around with it. Get the settings going to where it would record smoothly for basically the rest of it, and so, you know, that's what we're doing here. I think this will be the first time, probably not the last, but definitely the first, that the VOD channel gets something slightly different than the Twitch channel does. We've already had little blips in time. We had attempted to play Bless again, and that didn't work out, but you'll hear more about that from me on the Twitch channel. We'll see if this is a markedly different experience. You know, I still know that you're there, but the chances of you interacting directly with my local now are slim to none. We'll have to, you know, reach across time in order to get that going. So this will be probably a mixture of things that I remember to say from the first recording, because I think some of it's points that are worth hitting, and things that come out, you know, just naturally this time. Of note, even though you won't see it, we have already had some struggles with the program itself, deciding that it needed to broadcast over not just my headset, but the speakers. It's really a fun kind of thing to fight with time and time again. Pi, do you have some thoughts? Okay. Do you have more? We're listening. Okay, you think about it. Alright, yeah, there we go. He had to think about it. You don't want to rush him. It's really important that he gets the words in the right order. I can sympathize with that. Anyway, let's give you ears. We'll give it a couple of moments here so that it, you know, doesn't fuck itself. And then we'll give you eyes. And we'll go to episodes. We go to normal. Episode 1. We're just going to start here. It apparently gives you sub-episode options, which is kind of nice, but here we go.
Stephen King once wrote that nightmares exist outside of logic, and there's little fun to be had in explanations. They're antithetical to the poetry of fear. In a horror story, the victim keeps asking why, but there can be no explanation, and there shouldn't be one. The unanswered mystery is what stays with us the longest, and it's what we'll remember in the end. My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer. I've always had a vivid imagination, but this dream unsettled me. It was wild and dark and weird, even by my standards. So yes, it began with a dream. Following a typical nightmare pattern, I was late, desperately trying to reach my destination, a lighthouse. For some urgent reason, I couldn't remember. I'd been driving too fast down a coastal road to get there. I'd seen the hitchhiker too late. He was dead. I was convinced they'd put me in jail and I would never see Alice again. Suddenly, his body was gone. I was in shock from the crash. I could hardly stay on my feet.
Well, Alan's feeling a little bit woozy. So, already, we have some things that separate the Taken from our usual enemies. They, follow a different sort of logic than, you know, our typical hamburger or otherwise mashed up corpses do. The Taken aren't beholden to earthly limitations. That guy is just gone. And because we are in a dream, dream logic applies. we see that we have nothing but Wake's last book in the trunk, The Sudden Stop. He apparently was writing crime and noir.
When I hit the hitchhiker, the car wasn't going anywhere.
Okay.
I
Well,
had to go to the lighthouse. I knew there was something important waiting for me there.
he insists, but we're gonna probably try to go somewhere else. And it's this kind of nightmare logic that persists throughout the rest of the game, which I think is really to its credit. When you just outright break the rules of physics, that's no good. Physics and biology, I should say. You know, with your Resident Evils, your Dead Spaces, and so on and so forth. Then you know, for my mileage as someone who consumes a fair amount of horror media, the good, the bad, the indifferent.
The bridge had collapsed. I'd have to find another way to the lighthouse.
It certainly has. Speaking of physics, can I? Yeah. I sure can. It wasn't easy, but we did it. Anyway, when you outright break the laws of physics with your creatures, I check out of the story. In Resident Evil, they say that a virus has done all of this, and I go with what mass and over what time scale. And then I say, you know what, just shut the fuck up. Similarly with The Evil Within, it lets you experience a shared dream, okay? And psychopaths have more power in there. Why would that be the case? Who built this machine? What is the method of transmission? You know what, just shut the fuck up. Dead Space. They recombine biological tissue in a matter of seconds in order to make new things out of it. How does that avoid bursting into flames? You know what? Shut the fuck up. I can't do that with Alan Wake, because we do venture into the realm of the supernatural, and I think you'll see what it is that I'm talking about. You notice that when I move the camera, I have this kind of like dream fog everywhere. Everything has this layer of unreality to it, and, well, you know, the Taken, these guys here, our rank and file, can do things like this.
Recognize me, do you, Ryder? You think you're God? You think you could just make up stuff? Play with people's lives and kill them when you think it adds to the drama? You're in this story now, and I'll make you suffer. You're a joke. There would be a single readable sentence in your books if it wasn't for your editor. You'll never publish another one of your shitty stories, 'cause I'm gonna kill you. It's not like your stories are any good. Not like they have any artistic merit. You're a lousy writer. Cheap thrills and pretentious shit. That's all you're good for. Just look at me. Look at your work.
Alan has some insecurities. They're not entirely unfounded. He kind of knows what it is that he's been producing.
You missed your deadline.
And a lot of the enemies in this game, behave like this. They are intelligent enough. And they still have what makes them dangerous as, creatures. A human being that lacks coordination is not dangerous. Biting. Well, hang on. I mean, I'll let you know when it happens. Yeah, and then we have this. There's nothing I can do about that. That's some kind of a malevolent whirlwind. Hard to shoot one of those. Anyway, like I was saying, biting is a terrible way to transmit disease. It's why rabies hasn't wiped us out. And, things like the necromorphs. Oh, this guy is actually part of, the extended Alan Wake universe. He's real. We're sharing a nightmare. But, he doesn't do too well here.
remember? Quickly, get inside! There's no time to lose! Oh no!
So yeah, Clay here is, he's a real boy. Wrote the Alan Wake files.
No! No! No!
I was trapped. There was no way out.
He was trapped. There's a sweet trick that we can do that the darkness is not prepared for. You know, it's doing the eyeball thing. Let's see if we can get this going. No, not quite, huh? Ah, there we go. Nailed it. Extremely powerful. Give up. We'll be going out this door, but they've got to do their Evil Dead thing first. And while that's happening, I'll, you know, do my talking.
I had to get out.
Yeah, we will. Anyway, so if you take away our ability to use weapons, our coordination, our ability to think, then we're not very good as creatures, and that's something that
Light.
I will. That things like Resident Evil, Dead Space, The Evil Within, seems to ignore. They say you should be worried about a, here we see the game's light and dark mechanic. They lean into this hard. You'll see that as we go forward in this trip.
For he did not know that beyond the lake he called home lies a deeper, darker ocean green, where waves are both wilder and more serene. To its ports I've been. To its ports I've been. Do you understand?
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Follow my light.
Yeah. Not that I don't understand what you've said, I don't understand why it's relevant.
I entered your dream to teach you. The darkness is dangerous. It's sleeping now. When it feels you coming, it will wake up. There's no time. I can only show you the most important thing.
Okay.
The hitchhiker has been taken over by the dark presence. You can't hurt him now. The darkness protects him from all harm. Only light can drive the darkness away and make him vulnerable again. Here, take the light.
Gimme. Thank you.
Flashlight toward him and burn the darkness away.
So we see that we're doing something, and if we do it like this, we just do it real hard, we hold it down and wish, burns it away faster, but, you know, it causes the flashlight battery up there to drain. You can put new batteries in, they'll also recharge on their own.
The darkness no longer protects him, but it's still inside, controlling him. He can't be saved. He's still a threat. He is still your enemy. Here, take the gun.
Thanks.
Now you'll die.
Suck shit. A bright beam of light from the sky gave me a firearm.
Good.
I'm ready for you.
Well, remember what I've taught you. That is all. I will give you back your dream now.
Thank you, Sensei.
In
He's gone.
A terrible darkness was taking over the world. The lighthouse was the last safe place on Earth.
Well, there we have it. We must get to the lighthouse, because dream logic. Ooh. That's a thing you can do. I don't know if it gets you anywhere, but it tallies your score for knocking those over. Anyway. So, when you show me these things that can't behave like people can, and are worse in pretty much every way, did you hurt yourself falling? You kinda did. Then I also check out of the story for different reasons, in that I no longer feel threatened. If you combine what makes people dangerous with new and strange rules that perhaps I simply was not privy to, you know, this light and darkness, the shadow protecting them, and them not being fixed or necessarily harmed, but vulnerable in the light. That's something. You have a, you know, a premise that's not easily dismissed. Which is what I do reflexively with the vast majority of other horror media.
Just
They have this tendency, well, speaking of light, intense light does, in fact, burn it away so rapidly that the rest of them kind of combusts, which makes sense. At least by the nightmare logic of the darkness in general. That's okay. Bye. He'll just keep coming. We can't actually deal with him permanently. See?
I can keep this up forever.
In fact, he can. And so, we're just going to have to run from that. Well, things like this happen. If I go too fast, the game hits me with one of those pieces of debris. But that's just as well. Alan here doesn't have the best stamina. So yeah, these other properties have this habit of trying to over-explain things, and the problem is that the people behind them don't have the best grasp of what's what, so the explanations come off comical.
Baby, just another nightmare. Everything's fine. You dozed off.
Right. Anything more than dozed off would be news for everyone.
Cheer up, handsome. We're here.
We'll see if we have the same issues with the moving platform this time. Yeah, we do. The game's not so good at you moving on a platform, as you can see. Alan drives a red Lincoln MKZ. This is his wife. This is Alice.
I want a shot of you with the town in the background.
Sure. I'll leave
Yeah, there we go.
the title for the shot. A city boy, moments before he got eaten by a bear. Hi.
Hello there. You picked a good time to visit our town. Deerfest is just 2 weeks away.
Want to go to Deerfest?
Did you hear that, honey?
Yeah, Deerfest.
You have a lovely wife. If you don't mind me saying. I'm Pat Maine, by the way. Nice to meet you.
I would love to shake your hand, but it doesn't let me.
I won't pretend I don't recognize a famous writer such as yourself, Mr. Wake. A pleasure. I'm an avid reader myself. I hope this isn't too presumptuous of me, but I'm the night host at the local radio station. Any chance I could get an interview?
Look, Mr. Maine, I'm on vacation. In fact, I'd appreciate it if we could keep my being here just between the two of us. I'm sure you understand.
Fair enough. You can trust me to be discreet. Not a hard man to crack.
Pi, I agree. He should just take him up on the interview, you know? Like, what else? What else are you doing, Wake? Nothing. You're on vacation. Stupid fuck. Be nice. Make a friend.
Nice. I got a couple of really good ones. And I see you made a friend.
He didn't.
Cute.
Right.
Alan doesn't make friends. He's a douche.
Stellar, how's my favorite writer? Are you there yet?
Barry. Yeah, we just got here.
Are the locals giving you trouble? Just say the word, and I'll hop on a plane and come make sure that you're left alone, Al.
No, Barry, we're fine.
Great, great. Just want to make sure you can relax and recharge. So, how is the place? Has it gotten your creative juices flowing?
Barry, we're just settling in.
Okay, Al. I'll call back later to make sure you're doing okay. And you call me if there's a problem, okay? Okay. I'm just looking out for you, buddy. Talk to you later.
I love you too, Barry.
I love you too, Barry.
You know he's going to be calling you every 5 minutes.
That's fine. You be good to Barry.
I can always turn off the phone.
What did I tell you?
Text message from Barry. He says hi to you too.
Who's this guy back here?
Damn, yuppies.
Alan, we're here. Come on, let's get back to the car.
He didn't wash out his pickup truck. Looks like that. And I know I said this in the other branch. We had a flyover of Bright Falls earlier, and
Come on, slowpoke.
yeah, okay, there. And I still.
The local diner to get the cabin key from the.
We'll let them talk.
Carl Stuckey. He's waiting for us. I'll go fill her up while you get the key. I'll pick you up here in, say, 15 minutes.
Sure.
Sync by Microsoft.
Alan.
I don't know if that service exists anymore.
I love you too. Go on. I'll promise to behave.
He fucking won't. I know this man. He's an asshole.
I'd forgotten there were still places like this.
I miss diners.
Everybody knew everybody.
I don't miss that.
Hi, I was wondering if you could help me. I'm looking for...
Mr. Wake. Alan Wake. Oh, God! I am your biggest fan. I know people say that all the time, but I really am.
I'm glad to hear that.
Rose.
Rose.
No, asshole, you say thank you.
Carl? Of course, Mr. Wake. He must have gone to visit the restroom. He'll be back in a moment. I can't believe it. I've got all of your books.
Say thank you.
From the bookstore, when they took it out of the window.
And you keep it here. Well, okay.
Alan.
Good for you.
Say thank you. It's very nice to meet her.
Try the coffee. Just don't blame me when you fall in love, 'cause it'll break your heart when you have to leave.
Rusty here is no longer human. Nothing but black coffee under a thin layer of skin.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
Ominous. Anyway, this diner here.
Mr. Wake? I can't believe it. I'm having a conversation with Alan Wake.
Rose, like Alan, just tell her to fucking calm down. It's okay. Ah, shit.
Your wife with you. I can show you the town if you want. I get off work at 6.
Fucking down, girl. Jesus Christ.
We'll be sure to keep that in mind.
Good lord. You can't just, like, offer to... Is your wife with you, or did you show up by yourself, huh? You by yourself? Somebody caught a fish. Anyway, what I was saying about Bright Falls here, we got a flyover of it, and it's a town that's immediately appealing to me. I'm from a place very similar to this, and I sorely miss these diners. The sort of places where I could walk in at 3 in the morning and get whatever off the menu, you know, like a grilled cheese and a sandwich or something like that, and just have a moment, me and the quiet sort of pre-day world. They don't really have that where I'm at right now.
Do me a favor, Sonny. I could really use a tune right now. Coconut, number 6 in the jukebox.
You fucking know I will, dude.
Myself, but both of my legs have gone to sleep.
Now listen, we are gonna put the lime in the coconut.
Yeah.
We're gonna drink them both up.
Serious? Coconut again? You disgust me. Call yourself a rocker. Unbelievable.
It does that. Get stuck. Yeah.
Oh man, I know what I'm doing.
Good solid whack. Now that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
This is it. I've died and gone to hell.
I mean, your hell's pretty chill, dude. I would take this hell any day.
Don't go in there, young man. You can hurt yourself in the dark.
I think I can handle it, ma'am.
I didn't want to wait. I wanted to find
You don't
Stucky,
wanna die,
to get the
do
key
you?
and get out as soon as
Worse.
possible. The waitress was giving me a headache. Overeager fans always did.
A headache? But you just... Fucking A, man. If somebody enjoys something that you made, you tell them thank you. You say thank you, Alan. This is why it is that he needs me. He needs an editor, clearly. He also needs a conscience. Alright. Hey, dude. Get out of the pooper, give me the vacation keys.
Mr. Stucky?
Carl couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he was taken ill. But I have the key for you and instructions on how to get to the lake.
Okay.
I wish you a good stay in my cabin. I'll come by later to check how you've settled in.
Alright then.
To meet your wife. I insist.
What if I tell you no? Like what then? What if I say no? What if I say you gotta go back to the funeral that you clearly just came from?
Very inspiring.
Trying to see her ring there. Not much to be seen. But you can see that she kind of eliminates light around her. I think that's a cool effect.
I'm so happy this could be arranged.
You got more to say? If I hang out here, are you just gonna spill the beans? The beans, you see. No? Okay.
You got lucky this time, young man. You can hurt yourself in the dark. This really ought to be fixed, and then I must remind Sarah to change the lights at the station. It's been too long already.
Alright. I don't know why you're using a gas lantern. Or oil. Is it oil? It's oil. The motherfucker fell asleep.
Even that sounds better than your singing.
Are you alright?
Yeah, he's asleep.
Splendid, splendid! Damn hernia. It swells up like a balloon if I lift anything heavier than a spoon. Yeah, splendid, splendid. It's been a long time, Tom. Good to see you.
Hey, you wouldn't happen to have a bottle on you, would you, Tom?
I wish.
Who's Tom, Alan? And why did you respond to his name? We'll find out later.
Andersons, they're, local musicians. We're waiting for Dr. Hartman to come in. They want it off from his clinic at the Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Alright, there you go. Bye, Rose. Try to just, like, fucking keep it together.
Bye, Mr. Wake.
Good to see you. Alright. In the car we go.
Mission accomplished. The key and the directions.
My hero. I got some flashlights, just in case.
Hey, wait! Mrs. Wake! Your keys!
Well, that also bodes ill, doesn't it?
It was a real nut house.
It wasn't, though. It was not a nut house. He's such a shithead.
I'm on vacation, Alice. I'll figure it out when we get back home. Okay?
Okay. We can talk about this later.
Batman here on PBFF.
I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to bury my head in sand.
Here's another one of my favorites to go with it.
Once upon a time, I was a successful writer, but that was a long time ago. I hadn't been able to write a word in 2 years. Not since my last book.
And now the weather. It's gonna be a clear night, so you folks in the big city might want to look up every once in a while, see those stars winking down at you. It gets pretty dark out here, but they'll light your way.
Mr. Main's right. You really do get entirely too much light pollution in populated areas. I don't... well, it's something.
I'll get you inside safe and sound before it gets dark. And I've got the flashlight.
I know. I'm okay.
Alice had a phobia. The fear of darkness. I wanted to make sure we were inside with the lights on before sunset.
There you have it. This is Diver's Isle. We're going to Bird Lake Cabin. Speaking of Bird. Anyway, I don't know. Mr. Wake here is from New York City. I'm grudgingly familiar with New York City. I don't care for the place, and I'd just as soon never return. But he seems not to prefer these. Oh, that bodes ill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7th just flew off. You see more than one of those, if they're magpies, I should say. It's typically a bad omen. Anyway, he doesn't really seem to prefer these sorts of environments. I don't know that I'm built for anything but. We're at the cabin. We're probably going to have to, get up there and fuck with the door.
Well, let's take a look inside.
Yeah, there we are. We can kind of David Cage around. No. But this lock is really complicated. Is this how it is that you use your keys, lost things? I've never fucking done this in my life.
Come on.
There.
It's dark in there. We need lights. Can you figure out how to get the power on, honey?
Yeah.
Sure thing. I'm on it.
Come on, honey. Get the door open so we can get a look inside.
I did. Alice, did you? Okay, she didn't play her other audio thing.
The island had once been the site for a love story. Maybe it would be that again.
TZ and BJ. BJ is always an unfortunate set of initials.
An old generator had been connected to the power cable.
And here we see one of the mini games for starting generators. We'll do this more than a few times. It's a weird generator. I don't know what this thing is. Like, you would think it's the fuel tank, but I don't see anywhere to put fuel in it. And also it does that. It just rattles around. Open. We still got physics? Yeah.
I'll freshen up a bit and start settling in.
Okay. I'll look around a bit.
Sure thing. Have fun.
It was a beautiful place. I told myself I could rest here, sleep here, and forget about my work. I thought we could be happy here.
It's quite nice. I mean, of course, we know there wouldn't be a game if it was just nice. Looks like we have storm damage here. That happens. Wooden cabins like this end up suffering, holes and rot and all that shit when they're too close to water. I did. I opened it.
Alice? Honey?
Alan, I'm upstairs. I have a surprise for you.
She's got a surprise. But, we have to look around first. There's a lot of locked doors in this cabin that we're staying in. She's thrown her jeans over the banister. I've discovered the surprise early.
Alice? What is this?
I guess I have a small confession to make. I thought maybe you could write here that a change of scenery would get you past...
Damn it, Alice, everyone
Hey, just hear me out. There's a local doctor, Dr. Hartman. I read a book of his. He has a private clinic here. He specializes in helping artists. Maybe
So now you want to get me committed?
No, it's not like that. That's not... Alan? Alan?
Hey, lady.
Just don't! I don't want to hear it! God damn it, Alice! God damn it! I knew she wouldn't follow me in the dark. I needed some time alone to think things through.
Which is fucked up, man. Like, you used your wife's phobia to get some distance instead of talking it out like a human being, you know? You also took one of her safety nets. It's in your hands.
Alice? Alice? Alice! The cabin had gone dark.
I mean, yeah.
The lights were out.
Alice, I'm coming!
Yeah, so the birds are attacking us. The light would suggest that they are possessed, but I don't know, it seems like normal bird behavior.
Alice? Alice? Oh no!
Keep going.
Wake up.
Alice? Waking up in the crashed car felt like I had woken from one nightmare and entered another. I couldn't remember how I got there. All I knew was that something terrible had happened to Alice. The phone was dead. I'd have to find help on foot.
It was, wasn't it? The phone was dead. Here's Hartman's book, The Creator's Dilemma. And, well...
Among Alice's things was a book, The Creator's Dilemma, by a Dr. Emil Hartman. Seeing the book brought back my fight with Alice. I didn't like it, and I didn't like the guy's smug face on the cover either.
There we are. And, so, you know, we've now woken up at a car crash, which seems similar to the dream. I don't think we've hit a hitchhiker. And which one of these beginnings is real, Lost Things? In fact, and I'm sure I've asked this at a later point in the other recording, but I do want you to consider...
That was my best bet. They'd have a phone I could use. It looked like a long hike through the forest to get there.
Okay, then. I do want you to consider, starting now, when did this story begin? Just tuck that away in the back of your head.
Damn.
Oh no, not the Lincoln. Not the Lincoln. Shit. What are you gonna do about that now? You can't get another car with Microsoft Sync. It's got Sync. Alan, you can listen to things on that.
Hello?
Hello? Is someone there?
I mean, yes. Pages.
The loose sheets of paper were pages from a manuscript entitled Departure. That was the name I planned to use for the next novel I had never gotten started. I was named the author. I hadn't written it. I couldn't remember writing it. In the scene on the page, the hero was attacked by an axe murderer in the woods at night.
Ominous. We can access this with this. And you can see that we've, you know, collected others, because this is divorced from the now that it would have taken place in. These marked like that are only available in nightmare mode. We won't be visiting that. Anyway.
Departure by Alan Wake. The man turned to face me. His face was covered in shadows. It was hard to make him out in the darkness of the forest that surrounded us, but the axe he lifted was plain to see. It glistened with the blood of his victim. He grinned madly. The shadows were alive, distorting his features. It was a scene from a nightmare, but I was awake.
Hate it when that happens. We find a bunch of things like that throughout this game, you know, little manuscript pages as Wake writes his story in some kind of, you know, time and place. One that occurs maybe in the future or has already occurred, and we're simply not aware of it. Much like he was for a moment. But yeah, much like, you know, these broadcasts that I do, for Alan and for this story in general, time is a slippery concept. Along the forest path we go through a lumberyard.
Maybe I wouldn't have to hike all the way down to the gas station to find a phone.
I mean, fucking maybe, right? You really should wear protective equipment in here. Lumberyards are hazardous. You grab a helmet, Alan. Come on. He won't. See here. Caution signs. Employees Westmere. Christ. Employees must wear protective eyewear at all times. And caution. Hazardous environment. All visitors must visit site office. Biltmore Logging Co. Up we go. We enter in the most hazardous way possible. Lots of eye and head protection there that Alan just decided he didn't need.
Please! I've been in an accident!
Well, yeah, like, you know, these piles and shit could shift at any point in time. You really need to be careful.
Hey! Hey, you!
Phil!
There's been an accident! I need help!
Listen,
Deposit. I need to...
Premium cabins for rent in...
Oh, hell.
Carl Stuckey. Pleased to meet you. Non-refundable reservation deposit required. Fair and square.
Well, we found Mr. Stuckey. He's having a time. This is the other thing that's interesting about the Taken, as they're called, that they are sort of present, they are semi-conscious. But hang on. Another page. Now, I should say that I have absolutely no idea what they're supposed to be found in, like what order, because you get them scattershot. And we have several. I'm going to imagine that it's this one.
Stuckey spat on the garage floor and tried to shake the cobwebs from his head. Ever since the couple never showed to pick up the keys, things had been fuzzy. Something, a feeling, caught his attention. Stuckey looked up and stared as his brain tried in vain to process the horror before him. He stumbled back, knocking over a can of oil. A black pool spread across the floor while he struggled for a brief moment, then let go as the unrelenting darkness engulfed him.
And there you have it. See, they can shift at any point in time. You don't want to be caught in that. So yeah, like I was saying about the Taken, they are semi-conscious. There's something in their head that's gone wrong.
I had to figure a way out of this. Any second now, and Stuckey would be knocking on the door with his axe like Nicholson in The Shining.
He sure would. Anyway, he leaves his gun out, and a flashlight. It's Energizer. So you know it keeps going and going. There we are. Their semi-consciousness, their kind of dream-like babbling of familiar phrases, I think adds to the We're gonna need more of these. I'm gonna try Nordic walking.
Nordic walking.
Okay.
The latest thing. Incontestably proven. Let's
Go on.
kill one stone. You can see the sights and keep those cholesterol levels down at the same time.
Okay. Nordic walking sounds great. But yeah, I think this adds to their menace. They're not just
Yes.
mindless and shuffling or mindless and screaming. They're there, sort of. And they're smart enough to do this. And strong enough to do this. Well,
This is bad.
it sure is, isn't it? See what I mean by strong enough and smart enough? Bit of a problem there. And out we go. Because that's, yeah, that's going over the side. We don't want to be in that. Frankly, we don't super want to be here in general, do we? We can see that the darkness is in fact active in the fog, and it's part of the environment. It means that...
Bulldozer had gone over the cliff with the office. I hoped Stucky had suffered the same fate, but I wasn't planning on staying to find out.
Yeah, it's a solid idea. But we can see that because the environment is what it is, and the Taken are what they are, we've seen the way that they move, that there is no safe place. This is a setting where wherever you are too exposed. It's no longer a matter of simply bottlenecking and eliminating. There sure are. Wherever there's shadow, the Taken could be.
Inside a shooting range, and now I just killed someone. Or something. There were no bodies. They just disappeared.
Yeah.
I was dreaming. It felt real enough to make me sick.
Yeah. Loud noises with a concussion. It's not a good combo. And guns are extremely loud. I'm sure you've heard it before.
Painted graffiti was revealed by my flashlight. Someone had hidden a chest of supplies near it.
They sure did. There's also this breathing we hear. We'll hear that again. Flare gun. We know that's going to be handy. Anyway, you've heard this from other sources, I'm sure, but suppressors don't work the way that movies and television does. It's a gripe of mine. Firearms are fucking loud. Alright, we just fix it with our foot. And now it's fixed.
The forest was the last place I wanted to go, but I had no choice. I had to get to the gas station.
We've done it again. We're going to the gas station now. And yeah. I thought the Taken moving through the shadow like they do also does a nice job of allowing the developers to use a spawn-in mechanic without it being conspicuous. Because like I was saying, we don't, no matter where the shadow, or anywhere the shadow is, that's where the Taken can be, and wherever it is you're not looking, well, there's going to be shadow. What else we got? We've seen finds pages. We're not going to get there yet. Let's say this.
The Taken stood before me. It was impossible to focus on it, as if it stood in a blind spot caused by a brain tumor and eye disease. It was bleeding shadows like ink underwater, like a cloud of blood from a shark bite. I was terrified. I squeezed the flashlight like my life depended on it, willing it to stop coming any closer. Suddenly something gave, and the light seemed to shine brighter.
Well, there you go. Awake, maybe a little bit easier on the simile. We got it the first time, man. We need these. These are our batteries now, as well as our bullets. Well, that's a fun image, isn't it?
What the hell was that?
I would call it a reminder.
When I saw the river below, something uncoiled itself inside my head. I realized that I'd have to find a way across. I didn't even want to look at the water.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stop to look at the water. Don't you ever forget who's driving, Wake. And not that way. Not yet, maybe? Maybe. Maybe. Hop. Yeah, never mind, I'm just crazy. There's stuff over here for us. It's another page. We'll do another.
At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident. The book I couldn't remember was either a terrible and true prophecy, or an act of creation that had rewritten the world. I began to hunt the pages feverishly, for they held the answer to the mystery. With it, I could save myself. With it, I could save Alice.
Well, that's an interesting leap of logic to make, Wake, but yeah, sure, fine. That is, of course, you know, the premise of what it is that we're doing here. He's, at some point in time, written this story. And just gone.
Stucky was still out there, in the dark, stalking me.
It's true, he is. That's not Stucky, but it is a Stucky employee, it would seem. And so yeah, any other game I would, you know, be right up its ass about just popping things in. This one, it weaves it into the premise. Please, developers of all kinds, future, current, anyone that stops by to see this, take note. If you make these things, these mechanics part of your narrative, you know, including this light and dark thing, they're much easier to swallow, for people like myself who probably think too much about the games that they're playing. We'll climb this ladder, so we can hear that breathing. That breathing means there's a cache nearby. Probably up here. You can follow the luminescent paint as well.
Taken. They're taken.
That is what they're called. They are filled with darkness. In here. That's a symbol that we like. Batteries, batteries. That's a lot of complaining for not a lot of distance, Wake. Also, frankly, I'm surprised that he even owns a car. Most people that I've known from New York City don't.
The staircase was broken. I had to make my way up some other way.
It's true. We're just gonna have to figure it out. It's big brain hours. Not really. There's only one solution. It's okay. You see, that's what we want. But doesn't appear to be on, does it? We'll touch it.
There was no power.
Nada.
There was bound to be a generator somewhere at the logging site.
It's over there. We find the green light. And of course, because they're people, they know where we're going. There's an understanding that the darkness has that, while not complete, is good enough. There we go. Sometimes Wake doesn't quite want to pull the trigger. And there we go. We can take a moment to breathe here. Heal up any injuries we may have suffered. Venture inside. We want this. Someone's old double barrel. Another page. And before we get to that, just a moment. There we go. I just realized I popped the mute at the wrong time. I will be right back. There we are. We're back. And we have a manuscript. We've been attacked by birds. We know what that's like, and I know what that's like in person. Well, we don't want to spoil anything. Let's talk about Rose.
Rose knew she had been gushing, but right now, she didn't care. As far as she was concerned, her brief meeting with Alan Wake was literally the high point of her life. She watched as he got in the car with his wife. She was pretty, confident, at ease with Wake. Not like Rose. They were perfect for each other. She'd have given anything to be called their friend.
Ah, Rose. Never meet your heroes, kid. Never meet your heroes. In fact, don't keep heroes. Enjoy the works. Maybe reserve judgment on the person until you know them. And that maybe is a genuine one, you know, fucking... sometimes you can kind of tell. But, also, you just kind of do you. Cannot help feeling bad for Rose, though. Anyway, we've made a bridge. This is a terrible idea. See? That's just dumb. But he's doing it. Because this is Alan, and this is the pattern that he operates by. It's a bad call, so he does it. And it works out because he is touched by Providence. For right now, you and I. But we're only part of a parade of faces that have helped him through this exact journey. You know how it is. Up we go. Into the light. Someone left us a box of shotgun shells. We'll want those. And we have a radio.
Well, I was just outside for a breath of fresh air, and what a night. I know most of you are probably in your beds by now, but if you're still up and around, take a moment. Step outside for a spell and breathe in deep. The weather is absolutely still. The sky is crystal clear. It's like the forest is quietly breathing along with you. As you listeners know, I'm a night owl, and it's on nights like this I wish I wasn't cooped up in the studio. Makes an old man like me wish I could just roam wild. But here I am, and it would keep you company all night long if I weren't. It looks like I'm not the only one staying up late. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Pat, it's Maurice Horton.
Hello, Maurice. What are you up to?
Well, I was just taking Toby on his walking.
Oh, isn't it beautiful out there?
Sure, but Pat, the reason I called is that Toby heard something rustling in the undergrowth and took off after it, and I couldn't find it.
Probably a rabbit.
Sure. Toby loves rabbits.
Well, sure.
Anyway, I figured that, you know, if anyone runs into Toby, they could grab him. My number's on his collar.
And Toby's a friendly dog?
Toby loves people. Usually he comes back, but we were pretty far from home, and it sounds like he went pretty wild there. Great dog, but he's just too dumb for his own good.
Well, Maurice, it's out there now. Hope Toby comes home soon.
Yeah, thanks, Pat.
You have a good night now.
Pat, while gentler, you know, I find a kindred spirit in the character of Pat. There's a lot of nights and a lot of moments where I've considered walking into the woods and simply never coming back, and, well, maybe someday still. I am a wandering spirit after all. The music. Pat, also fucking spot on, my man. We have another stash here. Give me this. Alright, and as much as I wish that we could stand around and listen to Pat's radio show, we can't. I wish radio was that good. We got another page, so let's listen to another one, shall we?
I stepped into the gas station's garage. It was dark and quiet. The place was a mess. It looked like someone trashed the place or that there'd been some kind of fight. Light spilled into the room through an open door at the back, and I made my way toward it. Without any warning, I was blinded by a bright light. An old portable TV on the shelf had come alive by itself. Impossibly, I could see myself on the screen, talking like a madman.
Well, the possible becomes questionable when, you're dealing with all of this. But it looks like, yeah.
It's light welcoming in the darkness.
Paul makes best dogs in the state. Hi, you tired? Is it time for good night? A moment while we put the bird to bed. It's his bedtime. There we go. He's extremely excited about sleep. He always has been. Loves it. Wake has a fixation with these thermoses. You collect them. Again, I don't know that it gets us anything, but they're stashed throughout the game. Pick them up when you can. I certainly do. I won't be going for 100% on them, but, as they're visible, we'll snatch them up. And we see things getting real weird again. Might be a good idea, too. They managed to peg us, but Safe haven. I suppose whoever stumbled on this would just have to hope that there's enough for the evening, right? Good night, pups. And there they are. They just kind of resolve out of the bush, don't they? It's a cool effect. Love you, pups. Good night, Pie. He's got his bedtime rituals. I know I've mentioned it on past recordings, but it's good to keep them up for him. Alright. Well, we see that he lies to the cops at some point. We've been attacked by a shadowy murderer. Well, let's listen to Attacked by Birds, just because birds are on my mind.
I heard them before I saw them, swooping down from the sky and screeching as they came. I spun around just as the cloud was upon me. For an instant, I stared into 100 dead eyes, black pearls glittering in the darkness. I raised the flashlight and the swarm exploded like fireworks. Feathers burned, turned into ash. I couldn't hear my scream above theirs.
I mean, that's any given moment. Birds get an impressive amount of volume for their size. And when I'm not talking to you, Lost Things, I can be quite loud, but I'm fairly certain that even Pie here would outshout me. I'm sure I'd also get tired of shouting before he would. Well, we got more breathing. We got arrows. We have what sounds like unstable rock. Good night, pal. Love you. Stucky, I wouldn't disparage salad too much. You can get a pretty substantive salad. I know for a fact there's like several of them at Panera that will fuck you up for the day. Particularly if you get a large.
Wait!
Yeah, and then also like a bear claw or something. And some kind of large coffee drink. I am, in fact, saying that I've done this before. If you could hear, that was the witch saying, what are you speaking from experience? You trying to say you've done this before? Yes. She knows. She was there. That's another warning to wear eye gear. That's another shotgun for some ammo. And, we'll open that gate in a second. Here's another fun thing that you can do.
Science. It bestows immortality on those who advance it to elevate all of mankind. Newton, Einstein, Sagan, princes among men. But the price for such a legacy is steep indeed. In Night Springs. Tonight's episode, a quantum suicide. If our lives are already written, it would take a courageous man to change the script. Having called a press conference, Dr. Barclay Colvin is about to demonstrate that very courage.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I am Dr. Barclay Colvin, and I'm glad so many of you could join me here at the Moorcock Institute. Tonight, I'm going to give
the Moorcock Institute.
World's interpretation. As you can see, this is a loaded 9mm pistol. It shall be part of a thought experiment. And now, a real experiment, known as a quantum suicide.
Did he say suicide? Is that a real gun? He's kidding, right?
Please, stay calm. There is no risk. Observe what occurs when I place the weapon against my own forehead. Now, you might think...
It's not your forehead, that's your temple.
Not so. Observe the flower pot.
Whoa, you fucking nutcase. Where's that gonna go afterward?
Armed with this gun. With each pull of the trigger, two new realities branch off. One in which the weapon didn't fire, and one where it did. With my machine here, I have ensured that this reality is always the former. I have bestowed upon myself quantum immortality. Under no circumstances can this gun kill me.
So wait. What you're saying is that every time you pull the trigger, in another reality, you die?
Yes, of course, but that's completely trivial. There's an infinite number of things that could happen at any moment, and they always do happen somewhere. The point is, this one thing did not happen here.
You're insane, Colvin.
Insane? Insane?
Hey, was this thing supposed to be plugged in? I stumbled on it.
You fools! Gaze upon quantum immortality.
Also, everyone in that room is now deaf.
Colvin, felled by his own hubris or the ignorance of the masses. Perhaps he should have left the crate unopened, the decaying atom unobserved. Curiosity often kills the cat. In Night Springs.
The subatomic particle unobserved. Anyway, so that's Night Springs. It's a series of things that you can watch. It's just there for you. You don't have to, but I like it, and I'm gonna. Oh, more batteries. Anyway, yeah, Dr. Colvin's experiment there was... So if someone came in and just, like, bashed the fuck out of him with a bat, I'm pretty sure that he would die all the same. Or just used a different gun. Altered the position of the gun, perhaps? Like, what if he held it in his other hand? Does that reality still apply? Well, let's talk about Alan lying to the cops.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? She asked.
The sheriff looked at me suspiciously. The early morning light flooded through the office windows. I would probably never have gotten out of the woods alive without her help, but I couldn't tell her the truth of what I'd faced the previous night. She'd think I was lying or crazy. She'd lock me up, and she wouldn't help me find Alice.
There we go. So we can also see that these pages are, I mentioned it before, I don't know what order they come in. They do come scrambled. Some of them are things that haven't happened, some of them are things that are about to happen. Some of them are things that aren't going to happen for a moment or two from now. It's just splitting logs. We can turn that off. It just makes noise, that's about it. We got a dumpster full of fucking revolver rounds there. Just a whole dumpster. That's not correct. I mean, like, it can be. You want to disconnect your battery, you want to be careful. But it does require patience. It's time consuming. You can change your own spark plugs though. Don't let anyone tell you different. Just be sure to do your research, read some how-tos, watch some videos, consult with people. But it also saves you a ton of money to just do it on your own. I did ours recently. Hey Stucky. Hey Stucky's friend.
The engine's
No, that is accurate. You don't want to do this on a hot engine. Just do it before you started the vehicle up for that day.
This nice tool forgot his coordination has destroyed
The job.
Now we can see the Stuckies real quick. We're gonna have to wait for him to approach us, basically. And then we can chip away at his dark shield. Otherwise, he'll move much faster than we can track him, and he doesn't have to take physical roads, we know that. When we hear the strings, it usually means that he's approaching from behind. Come on, Stucky. You were merely taken by the darkness. I was born in it. Come on. Dick. Shoulder checked us on the pass. You come over here and apologize, Stucky. Yeah, no, it's too late. I've already found you.
Stucky's body vanished, leaving behind only a lifetime of nightmares to come, assuming I'd reach the lights at the gas station alive.
I think you'll be alright, Wake. I got you. Anyway, good thing that Stucky's body vanished, otherwise we would have a weird story for the cops, right? Don't pass under objects like this. You just give them a wide berth. Always assume the worst. When it comes to, you know, potential environmental hazards in your day-to-day life, regardless of whether or not you frequent lumber yards. Me, I've crawled all over a whole lot of places. They were abandoned, but such is the way of economic decay. And it can sometimes pay to know these things, even if you're just a regular person that doesn't work in, you know, any kind of, like, heavy labor position. At the gas station.
The parade float I had seen in Bright Falls when I first arrived with Alice.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, we did. It's a good float. 68th annual Deer Fest. Next year will be the best fucking Deer Fest in the world. We got some problems with the float, but we can fix it. We can fix it. We got a week at this point before Deer Fest. I apologize for any extra swallowing noises. I'm now thinking about venison.
The insanity I had just experienced in the darkness.
Yeah, go ahead, Wake.
The lights of the gas station felt comforting. And for a moment,
Gasoline.
the same world reasserted itself.
I suppose. Anyway, and being the creature that I am, it's just... We're gonna have to swallow some saliva. Thinking about venison. Try it in curry, by the way. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in this first one or in another one, in which case you'll hear it again if that's the case, but yeah, 7 days.
The Deer Fest had been 2 weeks away when we arrived. If the day count on the banner was right, I was missing a whole week between the night we got here and now.
Which is a problem. And, we got Sheriff, we got, finds pages. Well, we're gonna have to talk about Barry.
Barry Wheeler was bouncing off the walls. He jumped on a plane after his calls were ignored by both Al and Alice for several days. It could mean that they were both on a second honeymoon, but Barry didn't buy it. Al had been way too unstable for that, not sleeping, messed up. Barry had years of experience dealing with Alan Wake, and he couldn't ignore it. Something was wrong.
I mean, you'd figure the people that know him best would be equally concerned. Just in case, I'm not sure if we got Wake finds pages. We'll just go ahead and play that real quick.
At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident.
Oh, no, we did.
It was either a terrible and true prophecy.
We absolutely did get that one. With it, he could save Alice. With it, he could save himself. Blah, blah, blah. Alright. Let's see. $2.99. That's some West Coast prices, huh? The Puma. Now that's just that again. Breaker's Farm apples. Pick your own apples. Stucky's Country Store and Gas. Just soda light? Okay. Washington Motor Oil. Gasoline lubricants. Antifreeze.
The garage was a mess.
Oh, they sell steams.
It looked like someone had trashed the place, or that there'd been some kind of fight.
Well, we know what happened there. Stucky's brain got ate by darkness. Ah! Ow!
Keep writing. Outside, there's only darkness. Outside the cabin, outside the story, there's only darkness. I can feel her presence in the dark. Just now, I could smell her perfume in the room. I'll reach her. I'll fix it up. I'll bring her back. The story will come true. If I stop, she's lost.
I don't believe this. It'd been me on the TV, talking crazy. Was I losing my mind?
Well, Wake, it depends on how many places you can occupy at a time. Nordic walking, it's incontestably proven. The health benefits. You can't contest those. Alright, and what do we got in here? We got Bright Falls Hunting Club, join now. Fireworks galore, special Deerfest discount deals, ask for more info. Service guaranteed, certified mechanics do the best to ensure their customers' happiness. Should the need for something arise, contact the management. Some of the things are a little bit hard to read. We got yummies. We got big stuffers. I want some big stuffers. Cheese and cream, no. Garlic and vinegar. That's the chip to go for. We got oil. We got anti-rust. Panel oil. Racing tires. Cool or Sewell. I choose to believe it's Cool. Welcome. Special offer with coupon. Wiper Pro. Bradle Auto Finish. Flexico. You really can't contest these, it's right there. The 68th Annual Deerfest, September 15th to the 18th. Games and activities, raffle tickets, fishing competition, pie contest, and surprise competitions. What is that? Surprise. It's a competition. One of the guys from the, the sheriff's department just announces that the crowd is being hunted. Live music. For the children, Bucktooth Charlie, afternoons, and Montgomery the Mystic's amazing Phantasmagoria, evenings. Don't miss the legendary Deerfest parade. I would dearly love to attend. We're not going to get to in this video. We got beer. Lottery tickets available. It could be you. It won't be. Bards. Kickers. I'm gonna need some big stuffers and some fucking kickers. They sell propane, new customer discount. Minty stints. Delegum, sugar-free. We're being watched. They're a Houghton certified dealer. Why not try their gas super savers policy? Quick car wash. We got money orders, we got the cabin rental. Easy credit. They rent cars. How could I have forgotten? Skunky Ho. These are the sunglasses for the discerning customer. I don't know what Skunky is. Maybe you know what Skunky is, I don't. Oh, that's right, we have to use their landline. There we go. That's how that works.
Bright Falls Sheriff Station.
Yeah, hello, cops. It's darkness. I called to report a darkness.
Oh, thank God, Sheriff.
Sheriff Sarah Breaker, you are...
I'm Alan Wake, but listen. I was in a car crash. My wife, Alice, she's missing.
Calm down, Mr. Wake.
We were staying in a cabin on the island, on Cauldron Lake.
There's no island on Cauldron Lake, not since the big eruption in the 70s.
Please, I can take you there, okay?
You look like you've taken a pretty bad knock to the head. Are you okay?
Listen.
We'll figure this out. Please get in the car. We'll swing by the lake and then we'll go to the station, okay? Mr. Wake, have you seen Stucky, the guy who owns this place?
I realized I couldn't tell her what had happened in the forest. She wouldn't have believed me. And then she wouldn't have helped me with Alice.
I mean, yeah, that's a good move, Wake. We can't exactly tell her that we shot him a few times with this over-under that we found and he fucking vaporized. I miss water that looks like that too. The water around here is blue.
Clown they call the Sandman tiptoes to my room every night.
It's candy colored.
Just and to whisper,
okay.
Go to sleep, everything is alright. I close.
Well, we're gonna just jump on in.
I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it! God damn it, Alice! Now, she's missing. Alice? Alice? I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at. But the cabin had disappeared.
There we are, episode 2. 3 years ago in New York City. Some ancient fuses, Wake. But then New York buildings are typically old. It's a...
I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
Blizzards.
Coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Yeah, she's right. Alan, this jacket here is unacceptable for the climate that you're living in. I know New York. Yeah, blizzards are a thing. You can't wear something like that that isn't going to keep the moisture off you. It's going to soak to the bone. I miss blizzards. We scanned this QR thing in subsequent videos. I won't do it again here. We got pages. Here are the books that Wake has written. Return to Sender, What I Can't Forget, Alex Casey, The Things That I Want, and The Fall of Casey. Not necessarily in that order. He won an award that's 2 guns. It's a pretty good award. Snowy Hills. Mom's Survival Guide. You don't have kids, idiot. Who's that for? Can I actually examine this? I can't really get close enough. Alan's knees aren't so good, you know what I mean? What do you want me to examine? Oh, it's just the Alex Casey books again. Let's see what else we got. 1 bottle of pills. A tub. A shower. Separate things. Impractical. Really ought to be the same thing, right? Just a safe space in the bathroom. Leave your room to do other stuff. We got a his and hers sink, but we have no mirrors, which is strange. Not that I mind. I don't particularly like staring myself in the eyes. Any one of the 3. We got sunglasses. We got a closet with nothing in it. We live in here now, Alan. We're closet boys now. Just kidding, we're whole boys. We're still whole boys for life. Radio.
The continuing freezing rain and heavy snowfall have necessitated a winter storm warning in the entire tri-state area. People are advised to stay indoors, as many roadways are already closed, and city officials are not expecting snow crews to keep up with the weather. We're now on the 3rd day of the blizzard, and the weather is not expected to clear up anytime soon.
For days gone by. For days gone by. It's important, Lost Things, not to dwell too heavily on the past. You can never really recapture it. I have a lot of memories of blizzards and snowfall, and I'll have more of them in the future, but for now they seem distant and impossible, and in fact they are. There's no snow where I'm at. It fucking sucks. They really don't have seasons. Looks like she's doing her photography stuff. Those are pictures of Wake, or I should say the guy that plays Wake. He's got this TV that he hasn't unpacked. A CC. Great brand. It's something I do want to remark on. This fucking douchebag has pictures of the city that he lives in his apartment. Like, motherfucker, there it is. You know? You can just see it. You got like a wonderful fucking viewing spot out here. I can't go out there because Wake is a bitch and he doesn't want to stand in the snow. But, you know, why? Why? It's there. We got a breakfast nook. With some more pictures of the city that he lives in. We gotta walk. We got brick. This is a very sizable apartment for New York City as well. He's gotta be paying out the nose for this. Coffee.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
Alice, you're in New York City. That's tomorrow.
Oh, hey.
You're gonna finish it by tomorrow, you know what I'm saying?
They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Look at how fussy he is on the right.
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
That's the one that I would go with. He looks like he didn't get the toy he wanted out of his Happy Meal, and he's just not fucking having it. That's who Alan Wake is to me. Don't get me wrong, I'm hard on the dude as like a character, but I think he is well done for being what he is. He's a middling author. Like, he does fine. His story is fine. It doesn't do anything super wrong, but it is a little bit by the numbers, and it is a little bit derivative. But that's written into the character, and therefore into the narrative that we're experiencing. And we've heard from his insecurities being voiced in his nightmare that he kinda knows that. So his imposter syndrome is, I won't say deserved, but a busted clock is right twice a day. Alright, let's see.
Really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time.
You be nice to Barry.
Barry, he called. Alan!
Alright, you're good.
Let's check the fuse box.
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
There we go.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay, hi.
You okay?
Hey.
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's...
Yeah, bust out the candles, get it cozy.
Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well, alright then.
Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job.
I wanna...
She can locate your wife in no time.
Doc, I want to talk to you about your...
Of a small town doctor.
Your fucking...
Breaker had called
salmonella farm over here.
cut in my
You brought this in. And then just like left it unwrapped. Just put it in your fucking cooler and leave it in your car, dude. You can't do this.
To cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
I mean, it's a good catch, though.
Ain't she?
Yeah.
Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you.
We got a map over here, too.
Mr. Wake?
No.
Doesn't really matter, I suppose. But it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
I don't know what the fuck this is. This is a strange apparatus here. Anyway, Wake will take his word for it. We're gonna have to fucking disinfect that part of the table. The light lady's there. Deadly premonition, not the only...
Seems to be fine. I don't have...
Oh, turn them back on then. Anyway, deadly premonition, not the only thing to take inspiration from Twin Peaks. Have you seen this man? Disappeared 6/20/07, identifying features, knack for winning contests. Had to be a contest winner. How about these? Richard Baugh, Bruce Dansky, Jacob Miller, on a camping trip overdue, haven't been in contact. If you've seen them or know their whereabouts, please call 555-9932. Thank you! That's Sheriff Breaker in there. This is the Breaker box. So I'm glad that they're stuck together.
Mr. Wake?
Yeah, hey.
The sheriff is waiting for you in her office down the corridor.
Yeah, I'll get there, thanks.
Cynthia Weaver. I guess you can call her the town eccentric. She used to be the editor of the local newspaper, but she's focused on other things these days.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton.
Look, we've located the parade float. It's here. That's some good news, right?
That's some great news.
Supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today.
Son of a bitch.
Give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over. Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
Mulligan staying on task. Gotta admire that. Can't go in there.
Wants to see you in her office, Mr. Wake.
Alright. I wanted to poke the drunk tank, but that's fine. Whatever the fuck is going on here is also missing. Okay. Let's go talk to Sarah Breaker.
Come in, Mr.
Duly elected sheriff.
Phone's on the desk. The
Thank you.
battery was dead. It's charged now.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you, Miss Breaker. Sheriff Breaker.
Started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak.
Mr. Wake, can I...
Lover's Peak.
Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor.
Well, there we go.
Mister! Hey, can you turn the light?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Hey, you're all...
Can't touch that.
You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it all wrong. See, sure, I beat him up, but I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time. I only got drunk afterward.
That makes sense.
Hey, listen, you gotta listen carefully now.
Oh, bud, you have my undivided attention.
That wasn't Danny. No, sir. It only looked like him. You wanna know who it really was? I'll tell you who it really was. It was a goddamn space alien!
Motherfuckers.
I know it sounds like something that a drunk would say, but believe me, I wasn't drunk then.
It checks out. You should take a nap, though. Space aliens. Who would have thought?
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, go through the fence on the left.
Okay, but first I'm gonna listen to this radio. Yeah, I know where it is. I gotta check in with Pat. Nitro Grow.
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the sheriff's department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deerfest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting that the big day's almost here, but let's save it for the party and leave the gunplay for the shooting competition, huh? There's no point in getting all worked up yet.
Alright. Well. Good night, Pat.
The caller had told me to find a hole in the fence behind the
Wake.
police station.
I know. I'm not lost, dude. Okay? Anyway, pretty sure it's also illegal. Like, it's definitely prosecutable to fire your gun into the air. Here we go. Powerful feat. Powerful feat. And there's this ancient junk car that no one has scrapped yet.
The caller meant business.
Which is highly, unlikely and definitely suspect for, manuscript page. Well, why don't we?
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me.
You can't just say it's the femme fatale, though, Wake. I mean, this is why it is that your dreams say the things they do about you. You gotta give me a little bit more editorial control, bud. He tries to shut me out, but he knows I'm right.
Barry?
Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. Oh, I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Ow! What the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go.
Alright.
I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
And what we found there was... well, not one of those, but... we found Alice's driver's license. Or at least a convincing copy of them. Open. Anyway, like I was saying with Pat there's been many times in recent history where I have gone to bed when the sun comes up. I'm just not built for the daytime. Ah, fucking A.
Reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothing. The way
okay.
the sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite.
Alright, relax.
The world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Okay. This is something you'll notice about Wake. He can't really go terribly long in his own narratives without giving himself a little pat on the back saying, "Good job, buddy." Open.
I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent and regrettable little outing.
You recognize him?
Accountable for their actions, of course. I can assure you that my staff has been reprimanded.
Tor and Odin never caused any trouble to anyone when they were still living at their farm.
Indeed. All we can do is to slow down the progress of their dementia.
They don't seem to have dementia to me, but okay. They seem to remember things quite clearly.
Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my!
Take it easy.
Give him another. Barry.
Nobody move.
Those shorts.
Client. Who are you? I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
Yeah, it'd be more like a fine.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him.
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee.
Don't be a dick.
Balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mr.
Seriously, yeah.
Everybody, this is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan.
He's right. His choice of cargo capris isn't right, but he's right. Anyway, this is Bucktooth Charlie. The skeleton of a Columbian mammoth, Mammothus columbi. The specimen, estimated to be 14,000 years old, was recovered from the La Brea tar pits in 1981. It was donated to the Elderwood National Park in 1998 when the Columbian mammoth became Washington State's fossil. Named Bucktoothed Charlie, it has since become the park's official mascot. Bucktooth Charlie is fucking rad. Bear statues. Buffalo head. Owl. Elderwood. There we go. It's finally resolved to be readable. We got some critters by era. Paleozoic. Mesozoic. Cenozoic. Deer.
Seriously, Al.
Some deer facts.
In the car, just listen to yourself.
A puma.
You shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? Are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week, and someone's got Alice.
Do
and
you
everything's just...
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
And then he does, because Barry's cool like that. Is information on the puma up there? Got a bear. The grizzly. They're great big motherfuckers. A lot of people who go trekking in the woods go, well, but are you bringing enough gun to stop a grizzly bear? No, I'm not going where grizzly bear are. I plan on leaving that fucking thing alone. More big stuffer. And they got the right kind of chips here, too. This lodge is alright. An amazingly clean kitchen for a place like this. They got first aid. There we are. Nice view, too.
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure. What happened?
Crazy poachers. Max here got his foot caught in a trap. They're illegal to use here. Hell, you're not supposed to hunt within the park at all. But that doesn't stop some lowlifes. Well, at least Max is gonna be okay. He got lucky.
Well, for the time being.
Max is groggy from the shot I gave him, and I'd rather not leave him alone just yet. The form's on the desk across from the mammoth skeleton.
Seriously, Al, you can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster. You gotta talk to the cops.
He's right again, Alan.
And it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No. This whole thing... Listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds. If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha, let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you had me going there real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
Barry's only fault is that he didn't just call the cops anyway when Alan wasn't looking. Otherwise, Barry has done no wrong.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too.
Well, thanks.
If you have any trouble finding it, just keep your eyes on the radio mast. It's right below that.
Well, there we go.
Look, Al, you're asking me to believe that you shot a dude who went poof into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him. You hear that from people who end up spending time in padded rooms, strapped to their beds, wearing white shirts with too long tangled up sleeves.
Well, Barry, they're not tangled.
Diet of pills. Al, you make cruel jokes about people who believe that kind of stuff. You're the skeptic. You gave me an hour-long lecture on homeopathy last month. What was it? If there's no proof, it's pure bullshit. Period.
Guess the laugh's on me then.
Al,
Well, no, hang on.
I mean, okay. Okay, maybe something weird happened to you, okay?
Well, thanks for the heartfelt vote of confidence.
All I'm saying is you gotta throw me a bone here, bestseller. What would you think if it was me? There's no way you should be going out at midnight with a gun.
No
Why
one
not?
asked you to come here, Barry. Either work with me on this or go straight back to New York. Your choice.
I mean, going walking after midnight is a solid reason to make sure that you are permitted to. Alan, I don't believe you have a carry and conceal permit that is recognized in this place. But make sure that you have a permit, and then, yeah, by all means, a gun you carry is, you know, just kind of a good idea. It's better than the one you don't. Anyway, homeopathy is bullshit, but Alan, this happening does not mean it's not.
That's just crazy talk, Al. Al? Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her!
Barry, do both of those.
Not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help, and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be Deliverance all over again.
Barry, that's a negative stereotype.
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here.
Undoubtedly.
Poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
Barry, 15% and you get to take a vacation like this?
Shove that flashlight.
Is it in my ass, Barry?
Lock the door when I leave.
Yeah, you go ahead and do what you have to do. I'll be fine. Alone, but fine. In a cabin straight from a horror movie.
Barry, this place is fucking palatial. Okay? Chill out. Anyway, you know, he's from New York City. He doesn't really know any better. I do feel bad for him about the allergies, though. I'm the same way with dust. Batteries. Can't make ourselves a pot of coffee. It'd be nice to come back to, right? You know, you go out, you shoot your wife's kidnapper. You and her come back, you warm up by the fire, get cozy. Have a cup of coffee.
Real funny, Al. Real funny. Ha ha! Thank you. I'll just sit here in the dark till you come back, or until I get eaten by a grue.
Barry plays old games. Okay. We're moving. The witch had questions about whether or not she was going to be forced to move around.
I'll be with you in spirit every step of the way, Al.
Thanks, Barry. There's Barry's big dumb truck. We got a page.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry.
But not enough to have him just call the police.
I knew I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it.
Okay.
People had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
I mean, but if they lose Alice, they lose their bargaining chip, so they're not going to like, you know, dispose of her. We can hear birds. They're out there. We want those lights on. Because we can hear them outside. Footsteps that aren't ours.
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage. No plan, really. Just taking the atmosphere. I'm getting a little too rickety to do much more than that, you know.
Oh, tell me about it. No sack race for us older gentlemen, huh?
Yes, exactly, Pat. But I'm going to check out the parade, of course. And I'll be one of the pie contest judges, too.
Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
Oh, yeah. It's my kind of exercise.
Now, Doc, seriously, you're in pretty good shape, though. You're the outdoors type. I know for a fact you're an avid fisherman.
That's right. Matter of fact, just caught a heck of a largemouth bass early this morning.
But you're not taking part in the fishing contest?
No, not this year. See, Pat, I'm just not that competitive anymore. Now I just like to take my time and enjoy the peace of it. It's no fun if I need to worry about what I'm catching, you know?
Well, considering your track record, the participants are probably pretty happy you feel that way.
Well, Pat, that's kind of you to say.
I'm with the good doctor on competition. The only kind that I participate in is against myself, really. I don't worry about other people's results. I worry about mine. If they happen to be better in comparison, great. If they don't, okay. If I'm unhappy with how it is that I did... Oh, hang on. I can't play this with my head. Bullshit. I think I tried that in the past, too. Anyway, if I'm not happy with how I did, well then I'll do better next time. Bird. And a tire swing. And it started swinging all by itself. You spooked? There we go. Now I got it moving. And this shook the world. It was not ready for how hard I hit that tire swing. It just wasn't. We got another dark cabin up here. And someone's fucking RV out in front. Well, a trailer anyway. Propane tank setup and everything. I guess the entrance is on the other side? Yeah. Weird that you'd want to walk out into the fence, but okay. Broken windows. Got him. Can't turn the lights on in here, so we're just gonna have to trust it. Open the cabinet. Nothing there, but Night Springs.
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Man in the Mirror.
inside, Agent. He's a weird one.
So, you're confessing to killing that guy, huh? Why?
Had it coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal. Took a kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game, you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists? Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face?
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt when you took him to the game. But the white shirt is on the dead guy.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark. Believe me.
You bastard.
What? You gonna shoot me? What's the point? I'm going to prison. You got me.
I don't understand any of this.
And you never will. Don't worry. Maybe you'll see me again, Agent. Maybe in the mirror.
Well, you ever get accosted by a doppelganger and have to fucking kill him? Happens to all of us sometimes. But wait, this TV doesn't even have a power cable. How did we watch that? The horror of it all. Some very, very bright paint that they spilled there. And yeah, I know it's supposed to be blood, but it don't look like it. I hear more birds. I don't see birds yet. Well, if they want to come over here and make a thing out of it, they're welcome to. Will we ever learn what happened to that guy? Probably not. Birds again. Page again. We'll listen to that when we walk up here. Nordic walking. Don't feed the wildlife. And another page, so we get a twofer. Let's dig in, shall we?
I turned the corner, afraid of what the flashlight's beam might reveal. Suddenly, a roughly painted symbol of a torch glowed in the light. Behind it, hidden by a rock, sat a battered metal trunk.
Oop. We may have crashed. Okay, well, let's find out. Let's see. Let's just see. Yeah. Alan crashed. Alright, well, now's as good a time to take a break as any. We'll start that back up. We'll catch up with Alan. We'll send you here. And we'll finish out episode 2. Incredible. Alright. Yeah, until then, see ya.